again, this sort of came a bit out of my night echo, so it's a little bit of an experience. It's to do with this process of counting, and you know how in numbers that we write down 1, 1, and we mean 11, which is a strange thing, isn't it? You know, when you first learn with the count. And this is sort of to experience this in a different way. And we might do it so we can walk back and forth. We just move the chairs to one side and the other so we can have the maximum distance here. I'll just fold it up, put on top of it. Now, this sort of has two elements. There's an element of those who are participating, those who are watching. And it's important that you remember that when you write something like this, that this is the tens and this is the units. So if you imagine there's an audience down there looking at what we're doing, this activity needs to have something that's working for the tens over this side and something working for the units here. And so what I want to try and work is that we have someone here who will represent 1, and they step forward, and somebody 2 will be standing there. So can somebody stand here as the number 1 position? Perhaps you there. Take the next person. That when he steps forward, he'll step beside you. A little bit, yeah. No, but you one step forward, so one step forward. You'll stand about there. Number 3 will stand here. Just come and about there. Just a little bit closer because I want to try and fit. All right, next one will be 4, will be here. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Can we just have it that Jared just move across a little bit more there so that. And then I want some. This is where I didn't prepare that somebody who can be. Well, we don't have anything else, so. Where do we got that? You're 9, aren't you? So 10 is going to be about here, but can somebody be 10? And you're wearing that. Okay. Okay. And now, I want to have some of the others now that there's going to be another 1 here. You'd like to come and be, so one step forward because you're going to be the 1 of 11 now.
Okay.
And another one over here.
I think we need a 9 over here, don't we?
Isn't it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Sorry, can you be the number 9 there? That's it, thank you. 2, 3. Well, we're going to run out of people. Can you be 3 here? 4, 5, and there's the observer as the camera. Okay. So, oh yes, and keep. Sorry, thank you. Yes, keep going. Yeah, so that. This is a new idea. You can then see how you would either adopt it or adapt it or can it. So, okay. So, you other people can stand around and look for a moment so that what's happening here. So what I want you to do is the kind of counting that you can say 1 and you step forward. And then the 2 of you are going to say 2 and step forward, then 3 go 3 and gradually build up to there. But I wanted to make it so that 9 is just, okay, you just go forward a little bit more. So that sort of, 10 is there, right. Okay, let's see how we go. Step forward, we call out 1. 1, 2, 3. Now we just hold out so there's the 4 of you. That you can perhaps link arms, that would be good. Link arms. Now go say 4. No, only when you get there do you link and say 5. Just go back 1, that you stay there. You can say 4 and then you link up. 4. Now say you've got 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this is where I want now these people to all sit down, kneel down, depends what you're comfortable, but you've done, and this person says 10. And then going 11, 12. Now, only after you said 12 do you connect with the next person. Okay, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, but I want to do this part differently. So this part, just come back to here. And now by saying, and this is where the teacher can say, now, 10 and 1 is 11. Step forward 1. 10 and 2 is 12. 10 and 3 is 13. 10 and 4 is 14. 10 and 5 is 15. 10 and 6 is 16. 10 and 7 is 17. And when we got to 19, you'd all sit down and we'd have to have another 10 over here to make 20. So just a thought to try and make it a visual, active, kinesthetic approach to experiencing this strange thing that you write 11 is 1, 1. Now it's sort of visible. Of course, you've got no one left to look. But then you can have an interesting thing that how would you do from 90 to 99 to 100? So you'd have a whole lot of 10s, as it were, like this, whole lot of those, and you'd have to have somebody 100 would have to have some totally different costume to be 100, 101, and all different people sitting down. You'd have to have the whole school involved to do that, but maybe it could be a little drama that you can... Anyway, so that's just a thought, and you can use it in whatever way you like, or don't use it. But okay, that's it for that one. I don't want to... Now look at some other things. Yeah. Now, so far we haven't talked about writing down numbers, representing them. And there's all sorts of different things about that. But one thing you can do in a visual oral way is by forming what I call body arithmetic, little groups. And you can say that when you're standing as a 1, that you might have some little way that says, I'm standing as 1. It may be like this, or it may be like this. Perhaps we adopt this as sort of, this when I'm standing in a group of just 1, I'll stand here, my feet together, my hands on my head. This is a picture of being 1. Now, if I say form groups of 2, just form groups of 2, and then we'll look, how can we make a body sculpture that is a 2? We might have something that sort of says, here we're a pair, and it needs to be like this. So we're all pairs. So there's no ones left over. Just one over there. Stand with your hands on your head. Okay, now move about, and now form groups of 3. Now, we need to find a different form that maybe that we can say, what different ways of making a 3? You can have different ways, but maybe we'll eventually agree on something. Here we're trying to form a triangle. You've found a bunch in the middle. Yeah, a bunch in the middle. And yeah, but somewhere we can find something, perhaps not too large, something symmetrical, probably for younger children would be good. Yes, you could have it like that or whatever it is. And so on, so that you can find a distinctive body sculpture that belongs to 3. And it's sort of, you look at that, that's a 3. And so we're going to move around kind of 4, and you have to think, how can that be different? So say if we did this as our 1 for 3, now move around quite a lot, and now form a group of 4.
We've got 2.
We've got a 2, so we have to do this. Okay. Find a picture for making 4. You could make a cross or a square or something that belongs to the character of 4. Belongs to the character of 4. Here you've got a picture of two,
Can we make a square?
of 2 and 2, isn't it? Here, a kind of 4. So which you can have a look around, and you as adults now as teachers, because you might sort of tell them how to do it. What's the one that's really characteristic of 4?
We have a square in the middle.
A square. Okay, let's see. Who's got a square? You've got a... Okay, just let's have a look at what they've done to make a square.
Yes, they're like woven themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so that can be, maybe let's adopt that as the 4 builder. So we could say, now let's have that one as those 4s. See if, can you do it?
Or is it?
And now look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4 and a 2. 4, 8, 12, 16, and 2 makes 18. 18 is 4 groups of 4 and 2. You can begin to see, you can do a little bit of arithmetic out of that. You can see what we are. Let's go back to 3s. Go back to 3s. Move around, make a group of 3. Whoops, what was our group? What did we agree for groups of 3 like this? Now we look around. How many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 18 is 6 groups of 3. Move around, and now you're going to join into groups of 5. Now think, what kind of 5-ness are you going to do? We've got a 5 here. What can be characteristic of 5? Of the star, yes. Yeah? You have a hand with her. I have a hand with here. Can we see the 5? Now, can we have an over and under? I'll put under, over, yeah, under. Everyone, just lean back, and we've got a 5-pointed star. Okay. Let's have a look. You've got different things. You had a 3, so yeah, you've got all piled in one. You've got also a pentagon in the middle by crossing your hands. So there's different things. We've just tried to make a 5-pointed star, which is possibly between these two, give more a character of 5. So we could choose between those. So anyway, we can say that 18 is 1, 2, 3, 3 groups of 5 and a 3. And you can say, oh, it is 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3. You can do different ways. At this moment, we've got as many groups of the same kind. We'll come to others later. Okay. Can we adopt this one, making the 5-point star as our character for 5, with a 5-pointed star? You don't join with the person next to you, but the 2 opposite you. And we've got an under-over business. Imagine that you're the head of a thing there, and you're reaching out the 2 feet. Okay? Okay, so let's now move around a bit again. And this time we are going to form groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, now what's a characteristic group for thing, a form we can do for 6?
So we can't do it then. Oh, we can. Sorry, I'm not counting you.
Yeah, I'm part of it.
Okay, good. What if we face each other in 2 rows?
2 rows, or a 6-pointed star. Yeah, 2 3s.
You made the star where you hold on.
Or you can have 2, 3 lots of going for the opposite person. You reach to your opposite. And so, how can we kind of...
Like one under, one over.
That would be, that's going to be very difficult to do. Maybe we could...
Well,
let's
one
start with
person go
one.
first, yeah. Or maybe 2 people.
No, you need to do to this same, to do that. and then, okay.
Yeah, if
then
we each do one-handed
No,
at a
we need to
time.
do the same. If they're doing their
Right.
right, left, and then you're going to do that one to that one. And now what we're going to do, that one, that one, that one. I suppose that's the nearest we're going to get.
You're both
Okay,
on
so we've
top.
done that. Let's have a look at the different groups. You've got a star with two triangles. That looks very good. And you've got a mountain. I can't see what they've got on the.
A mountain of
You've got your right hand. No, you've got your left hand's the top, and your right hand's all below. So which one's the one that we should adopt for a 6? I think that
this
one.
ours is too close to 5.
Yeah.
that looks pretty good over there.
Yeah.
So that's the two trying to make a 6-pointed star. So before we go, 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. 18 is 3 6s. So you can do arithmetic through body. This is what we call body arithmetic, and you can sort of feel you're doing with it's oral and kinesthetic at the moment, and the visual is seeing different characters in the process. Okay, let's move around and do 7s. Now, how are you going to think how you're going to make a 7? Right, form a 7. Now, 7. 7. How are you going to make a 7? 1, 2, 3. I'll stand out. The some of us. Okay. There's going to be 4 of us have to form a different group, haven't they?
We have to have one more.
You have to have 4 on the
So are we singles? Is that the idea?
No, you can be 4s, or we can be a 3 and a 1, but it's actually,
4.
we could make a 4. What was a 4 again?
It was the square.
Pick the
Was
square.
the inner square.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did under.
Under, over. Yeah, okay, so we're that. Okay, let's just see what they've done.
4 on the bottom. 4 on the bottom.
A 4, 2, and 1. That's good.
Yeah, you're over
That only makes a 6. That only makes a 6. What you're doing. 3, 2, and 1.
Well, so modified.
Yeah.
It's not a pyramid.
Now, no, what you can do is that she's between these two, you're between those two, and that person stands between the two of you. So, yeah, okay, you stand over, that she's on these two. I wouldn't go on top because it's too dangerous, but that you can somehow stand with the, no, don't stand on them, but you just stand, and so it's 4, 2, and 1.
I see.
Okay.
That's the.
Well, you just make
No, just be standing behind, but you stand up and these are down. So you have, that's one quality of 7, a 4, a 2, and half, half, and half. Again. So what have you people got for a 7?
I've got a very mystical, magical.
So that's an interesting, is this something that is characteristically 7?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you, yeah. So there's a question.
How do you know we could make that?
Okay, just look, because it's tiring for them, they've got an aspect of 7 that is 4, 2, and 1, or 1, doubled, 2, doubled, 4 makes 7. That's a character of 7, probably a bit painful. So you just had a 7 as a unity, and the other aspect of 7 could be a 6 plus 1, so you could have a 6 with a 7th one standing in the middle.
Ooh, we could have done that around.
Around the middle one, because that's often you see there's different as you get the bigger numbers, the building architecture can have quite a few varieties. So say you did the 4, 2, 1. This could be 6 and 1, or it's really 3, 3 and 1, and so on. So you can have fun with just creating these things. So we have found here that 18 is 7 and 7 and 4. So it's 2 7s and a 4. Now, we could go on to 8s and 9s, but let's now rather just mill around and form 4 groups, but all of different sizes. Just mill around for four, and then when you get together, make that sculpture that belongs to that number. He's one group, he's sorted himself out, he's isolationist.
He's ready to be frisked.
So you've got a 5. How many groups did I say? 4. Okay, so we have a 4. You've got, how many? You've got a 5, a 4.
Wait, was it like this?
We're making a square on the inside. And so, wait a minute, you remaining will be an 8.
Okay.
So now you've got, that's a new one. You're going to have to create a new sculpture.
Oh, do an infinity.
Perhaps 2 intersecting 4s.
One. Do 2 4.
2 squares intersecting. She's got some idea.
Okay, so like 2 together. You guys link together.
We're both
And then you guys
there.
wait. Stay right where you are.
It's like the infinity.
Some complicated thing going on over there.
Oh.
See, but it's really engaging.
Of course, we're adults. We have a totally different
I
conscience.
know.
But you need to
Instead
sort
of
of
like
just imagine
naturally
it
or
for-
organically,
yeah.
children figuring out this feels right.
You guys do arms.
Probably the younger children, you probably have to give them more direction than leaving it up to the inventiveness. I mean, they can, but you'd need to finalize it and saying, this is what we'll do for
Right.
this.
And some of us worked from the concept downward. Like,
Yeah,
let's
that's right.
make
This is where
a
adults
square,
working
let's make a
downward.
hexagon.
We're looking between just all form a circle and then intersect in the middle.
Every second one corner square, and then the others crooked.
You connect.
Go in between.
Link to you. Kim, yeah, Shan. That's it.
Yay!
That's it.
Ah, figure of 8. Very good, a figure of 8. Right, so now we have, let's see what we've got. 8, 18, that's what we started with. 18 is 8 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1. And so you can find all the different things that 18 can be. You see, normal arithmetic says 2 plus 3 is 5. That's it, full stop, either right or wrong. 18 can be all sorts of things, and they're all right. And this allows individuality and possibility. This is the key thing to this. You can do with 18 till the cows come home. You know, all sorts of different things, and they're all right. And it's not saying you're right and you're wrong. It's quite something that there are many ways of being right, and this is a key concept in Waldorf education.
And it's really fresh for a young child to think of 4 plus 8 is a different thing than 8 plus 4.
Yeah.
You know, to us, they're just like, shift them, that's
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
problem.
we're
Now, if
commutative.
it's 2 different groups of people, you get to be the 4 and they get to be the 8, you know, or we get to be the 4. And now we switch and I'm in the 8 group, you know, you experience the essence of the number.
Yeah. Okay, how's our time going? I'm looking to see if I had another activity there. I think that was the 2 main ones we were going to do. Yeah. Okay, that'll do for our activities here. So can we go back to just finish off in the other room?